The first topic I'm going to talk about is that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie based on the last Ronin comic was announced at CinemaCon last week. Now, this is really exciting news for fans, especially who read the comic. And I also am really excited by this news because it would be a live action Turtles film again. We haven't seen a live action Turtles film since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 I thought was horrible. And I haven't read the comic. Like, I do have it in a hardcover, which at some point I gotta read it. I've heard from a lot of fans that's one of the best Turtles stories in comics. And I'm really excited for Mutant Mayhem too, also. Like, I love the fact we're getting a live action Turtles film and an animated movie and an animated show that's going to take place between Mutant Mayhem 1 and 2. All that at the same time. I know there's also a video game announced that's going to be based on the last Ronin game, which I'm really excited for that video game too. And another reason why I'm really excited for this movie is the fact that one of the things I really loved about the original live action Turtles movie, the original 90s one, is that it had a dark, gritty tone to it, while at the same time having fun comedy. And when you look back at the Turtles comics when they started out, they were dark and gritty when they started out. It wasn't until there was an animated series where they kind of went more for the fun route, which I love the original animated series. But one of the things about the live action Turtles films that I felt like I really wasn't a fan of is that I enjoy Secret of Ooze, but it got so kid friendly and goofy in that movie. And I know when like they didn't have the same director from the original movie. And you can tell in Toto's 2 and 3, they just went the kid route. And even with the live action Michael Bay movies, I felt like they got goofy and ridiculous and over the top. Like, I love the fact that we're gonna get a live action Toto's film that gets back to that dark, gritty tone of the original and really focuses on a really good storyline in the comics. That's more dark, gritty, serious, and grounded. Because I just love the fact we're getting back to that tone. Because, look, I love my fun Turtles movies, too. Like I said, I love Mutant Mayhem. I think Mutant Mayhem and the original 90s film, to me, had the best balance of being a serious Turtles film while being comedy. But I do love the fact for the first live action Turtles film, after the Michael Bay produced ones, I know he didn't direct them, but after those two, that we're getting back to a darker, grittier tone like the original 90s movie. So this is, like, I can't wait for both, like, for this movie. And I definitely can't wait for Mutant Mayhem 2 and the anime show. Like, it's a great time to be a Turtles fan with everything coming. The next thing I want to talk about is that Keanu Reeves has been announced to be voicing Shadow for Sonic 3. Now, I talked in my past video, I enjoyed the first two Sonic movies. I didn't love them. And I am a big Sonic fan. Like, one of my favorite old systems was Sega Genesis. My favorite Sega Genesis games were the Sonic games. I remember, like, I had Dreamcast too, and my favorite Dreamcast game that I played all the time was the first Sonic Adventure. I even remember watching like Sonic X on WB Kids, like one of the animated shows. But I haven't really loved Sonic movies so far, and the reason why I've been excited for Shadow is because of one who's been announced as a voice actor, but also because he's a cool character. And I love the fact that Keanu Reeves has been announced as a voice actor. Because of the fact that I think Keanu Reeves can bring like a lot of just a grounded, serious person Shadow, because obviously Shadow's a bit more of a serious character than Sonic. And it just, as someone who hasn't loved the first two, I've enjoyed them but haven't loved them. Like I said, I think the first two are fun. But I'll admit, I was just interested in this movie, but now with the fact you're gonna have the movie with Shadow, and then that character ending having Keanu Reeves voice the character, this is definitely moved up to one of my most anticipated movies this year. Like, can't wait for Sonic 3. I think Keanu Reeves is a fantastic choice, and I'm a Keanu Reeves fan, so definitely excited to see what he brings to the Shadow role. The next thing is that a Running Man remake has been announced. Now, I didn't notice, but it's apparently based on a book. I've only seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I've never read the book. And from what I heard, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie did change some stuff around with the main character. And I've heard a lot of people say it's not really accurate towards the novel. And I'll be honest, I'm not really that big fan of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man movie. I find that to be kind of one of his weaker movies. It's not personally one of my favorite movies of his. Like, it's one of those movies that I didn't enjoy all that much, even though I'm a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. And Glen Powell it's been announced Glen Powell is going to be playing the lead character in the movie. And this actually makes me interested in this movie. I'm not overly excited, but this makes me interested because I do like Glen Powell as an actor. I mean, he was in Top Gun Maverick, a movie that I love. He was also in a movie called Devotion, which I thought was really good. He's going to be in the upcoming Tristan's movie this year. He was in that movie Anyone But You, which I thought was fun. So I think he's just a great actor. So it makes me a little bit interested. But I will admit, I'm not overly excited about this movie because I didn't like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. And I didn't read the novel. So we'll see with this. With Glen Powell, it has me a little interested, but it's not at the top of my list right now until I see more. The last thing I want to talk about is I thought this was interesting. So you have the Mufasa prequel movie coming out this year. Now, I didn't like the 2019 Lion King remake, the live action CGI one. To me, it felt like a shot-for-shot remake. The songs from the original to me didn't work as well in the live action one. And even though I think realistically the CGI looks great in that Lion King movie, like the CGI looks fantastic. The only problem I had with that, with how realistic the animals looked in the Lion King live action CGI remake, was the fact that when they were like singing the songs and talking, it felt off to me. Like the dialogue wasn't matching the movement of the mouths, personally for me. But I've been interested in this because, okay, I think this is a cool idea to do a story about Mufasa, Simba's father, who I love the character in the Lion King animated movie, and we never really found out much about his backstory, Simba's father, in the original animated movie. So I think there's something that could be really cool to explore there. But I love the fact that, because Pandy showed like a couple minutes of footage at SimmerCon, but it's been revealed that in his origin that he was like he didn't grow up in a royal family, whereas Simba did. That he was kind of he didn't grow up royalty like Simba did, like I said. So I think that's just kind of interesting because it gives Mufasa like a different backstory to where Simba comes from in the Lion King animated movie, where Mufasa was kind of maybe like a lost cub and didn't grow up maybe in the best circumstances or something like that, where you have maybe a rougher like backstory. I just think I think it's just really interesting the fact that he didn't grow up in like this fancy world family like Simba did, where he was like growing up to be a king, Mufasa. So I think that's just it's something that I think could really be interesting, and for me, it actually makes me really excited about the Mufasa movie because I feel like this could be a really cool story to tell, and I like the fact that the Lion King movie is actually telling a story that we haven't seen in any of the animated movies. I know there was like straight to DVD ones, but definitely excited for this movie now. Like I can't wait for the Mufasa movie. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.